Hello and greetings to our E.D.C family. This here video will be a tool for you to understand our channel's unique format on E.D.C items, or everyday carry items for those of you new to the community. Now, for those of you that are new to our little channel, or for those of you who would just like a straightforward video about how our channel works, this video will explain it all. Well, hopefully, right? To explain how our content and how our scoring system works, let's start with the basics. Number one, we are Carry or Bury LLC. Who are we? Well, for the sake of anonymity, you can call me Prophet. My editor and our LLC's COO and Vice President is Professor. Our goal is to review everyday carry, or as we all know it, E.D.C, the gear, the items, and the products for you, our viewer, in an entertaining and honest format. We feel that too many YouTube videos have become paid advertisements for the products that we're all looking to purchase. Instead of helping us with the information that we seek about an item, they're using their platforms to trick or buy something, right? And they do their best to disguise their promotional videos to look like they are reviews. Now, obviously, not all YouTubers are like this. In fact, there are many, many amazing content creators in this niche. Ones that have given us here at Carry or Bury inspiration, and in their own way, even help on our journey. So, how are we going to be different than the many, many other channels? Well, we've decided that we will provide you with a unique and entertaining format, giving our videos a twist. From the old pros and cons way of helping you decide if an item is right for you. Thus, we've created Carry or Bury. We will use 3 segments. 1, 2, 3. Just kidding. We will use 3 segments to help you decide if an item should be considered to be purchased or not. How will we do this? Well, we will score an item up to 5 pros or 5 cons, 5 positives or 5 negatives, 5 needs or 5 nails. The ultimate goal is to give you, our viewers, our honest opinion if an item that we have reviewed should be proudly carried, right? Or if it should be buried. While we know that the terms carry and bury to us here at the channel are mostly literal, it's important to note that we do realize that we can't carry for, say, a tent daily. Well, I suppose some of you can, let's be honest, but you kind of get what I'm saying, right? And on another note, we can't exactly bury items into our backyard that can hurt wildlife, water supplies, things like that. So again, while we do strive for this channel to be literal, there are obviously going to be items we review that just can't be literally carried or buried, at least safely or legally, right? So we ask you, our amazing viewers and our E.D.C family, to use an open mind. Instead, it will be helpful to think about carrying as the positives of something and burying as the negatives of an item or a maker or a company or a product that you potentially are interested in purchasing. With that being said, how it works when we bury an item on our channel, even if it is in the literal sense, please know that our goal isn't to shame the maker, the company, a person, or even a product or anyone involved. Although it didn't make our cut and we can't recommend it to you viewers, our hopes are sincere that the maker, company, etc. will look at this as a chance to revisit the issues that we found and to make the product better. Also, it'll be helpful to know that it's the first and foremost our personal opinions, right? And we don't want anyone to be upset about that. What we may find as negatives may not be someone else's. Plus, quality control could easily factor into any negatives that show up in the item that we have on our table. Finally, But most importantly, these videos are for entertainment, okay? We want to make a fun and different way of reviewing items and kind of make it a little game, right? So, although we're being honest in our findings, and a little macabre if you ask me, right? Because burying an item itself is funny to us, but it may not be to you. So you can maybe imagine us burying it in a drawer, perhaps, or deep in the safe, or maybe not in the tiny plastic caskets that we're actually going to put in our backyard, right? I'll let that sink in for a second. So how the game will work is we'll record in 3 sections. The first section, we will introduce the item or product that we have tested, carried, etc. on our channel, okay? We will then give general specifics about that item, and when available, we will include information on the maker or the company that produces it. We will do our best to compile information on everyone involved with the item. Now, remember, I did say we'll do our best. We're just people, right? But when that's done, we then will give a brief, but hopefully accurate and enjoyable bit of information and history, when we can, right, about the item's name or the inspiration behind it. For instance, we just reviewed Jim Skelton's scaphoid, and that comes from the wrist bone, if you remember from that video. Just a little something to remind you about. So when all that's finished and you have all the information about the item, we're going to flip to the second segment. Flipping to the second segment, this is where we will compare the item that we're reviewing to other like items or products. We will always try our best to work with what we have personally used or with what we currently own. And believe me, we own quite a bit. And what we have available at the time to compare to the product that we're featuring in our current video. When we don't have something to compare in our inventory, we will use pictures or information off of the internet, again, when it's available and what we can find. Remember, these comparisons are our personal opinions, and you may feel very differently about the items that we've chosen to compare. But you know what? That's what makes YouTube, the internet, and the E.D.C community so amazing. Feel free to use the comment section in every one of our videos to agree, to disagree, hopefully to educate, or even to share your experiences with particular items or items you'd like to see us talk about. We will also do our best in this second section to include the product's availability, the pricing points, where you can get it, are there any sales, etc., etc. Now, depending on the video and the product we're reviewing, we may also include product field stripping, takedown procedures, or other demonstrations. But remember, that stuff's time consuming, so it will depend on our channel's growth, but most importantly, it'll depend on if you, our viewers, have a strong interest in that sort of thing. Because let's be honest, although we do this channel to have fun, and for a way of all of us to be involved as we have that fun with things, it's still for you. And that's why we're doing it, to bring a little fun to this type of thing. All right. Well, flashing right into the third and final section, we'll get down to business. The carrier berry business, or as we call it here on our channel, the needs and nails business. So how does this work? I'll pretend you guys asked that, okay? First, we'll assess the good or the positive qualities or features or attributes of the item that we're focusing on, which we lovingly call the needs of the product. To help with the visuals or the positives, the needs side of the scoring, Professor will display a pocket icon with the word need stitched right into it, and it is usually going to be right around here. These pocket icons represent the carry side or the positive side of our channel. They are specific positives that again are our personal opinions about the item that we're reviewing or the company, the manufacturer, the maker, the designer, etc., etc. These needs can include something about the purchase process, the shipping process, packaging, the exclusivity or the availability of that item, or even our opinions about the pricing. Nothing is safe or off the table when we're doing a review. On the other side of the discussion, we'll also weigh the negatives of that said product or item, which we call the nail side of the scoring. This will represent like nails in a coffin. These will be visually represented, again, somewhere around here, with little nail icons that you'll see on our screen. These nails represent the berry portion of our name and the negatives we find in that very same specific product or item, thus completing our channel's name, carry or berry. The scoring will work as follows. When we go through the needs and nails of the item, again, the positives and negatives, we will list them all out, have discussions of the importance or relevance in which we pick up to 5 in total. Even if we have more positives or more negatives, the list will stop at 5. Doesn't matter if they're needs or nails, positives or negatives, 5s is where we're going to stop. And it's going to be our max in both categories. So in the event that there aren't 5 positives or negatives that we can honestly come up with together with a specific item, then whichever category has the higher number will win. For instance, if we have 3 needs and 2 nails, then we say, carry the item proudly. And here on the channel, we definitely promote you purchasing it if you so feel fit. On the other hand, if we only get 2 needs and 3 or more nails, then it is time for our 21 flipper salute and the burial, which will be happening. After we bury an item, we will also be hoping that the item will receive an upgrade or an update to help it become worthy of carry someday in the future, possibly a 2.0 version or something like that. In the event of a tied score, any tied score will be broken up by cuz, another very important channel member, tester, E.D.C lover, and sometimes most importantly, our chaos calmer. Chaos is this channel's beloved Old English bulldog that makes filming super difficult. But we love him nonetheless. He is definitely a carry and will never be a berry. So remember, as we judge the fate of the item here, we will always stop at 5. But what we will do is we will do 4 positives, up to 4 positives first, and then we will do up to 4 negatives. If there's that tiebreaker, whatever one hits 5 first wins. We look forward to growing with all of you. And just a little side note, if there comes a time when a product is sent to us for review, we will give our first impressions. And depending on what the sender allows us to do, we'll hopefully get to carry it and put it through its paces. However, this may not always be an option to bring you all the latest and greatest. So just know we do take great pride in our honest reviews. So we may not carry or bury in those items. We may just do first impressions or an unboxing, something like that. So if there's anything that you'd like us to review, let us know in the comments. Follow us on social media platforms by searching for @CarrierBerry and just look for our logo. I hope this was super helpful. We are going to ask that if there was anything that was hard to understand, you let us know in the comments. But until next time, E.D.C family, keep those blades sharp, keep your flashlights charged, and keep those band-aids close. Remember, you are the best tool in your everyday carry loadout. God bless, and see you next time.